And so again, Nietzsche's, not really arguing for human nature. If you look at his sort of whole career, he's not really making a human nature argument. He's definitely critiquing in this text the human nature argument. He does uh, make a claim for human nature himself, right? But in general, he's critiquing the idea, right? And he's definitely critiquing the idea of this, what you might call Western ego. Uh, that there's, our human nature is moral, scientific, rational. Um, on the one hand, he's also, critiquing the more traditional sort of notion, which is a negative notion of human nature, which you find in many Western religions, right? Sort of the original sin idea, right? So, his problem with the idea of human nature is when it becomes fixed, right? When people make a claim for, you know, human nature is fixed, that it doesn't really move, right? And that it's fixed in a certain way. Okay. So that's what he's arguing against. What he's arguing for, right, is, our human nature is aesthetic. We're artists. We're actors. And he uses the hyperbolic statement that we're liars, right? So he wants to get under her skin by saying that, right? But it's basically, how do we survive? We survive not by looking at the world in a rational way, but looking at the world in an aesthetic way, a puzzle-like way, a playful way, a competitive type way, right? Um, and so we see the world is constantly in a state of flux, constantly changing, and we have to change in order to make that work, in order to live in the world and survive in the world. So instead of putting a rational grid on the world, and then putting the world in the columns and the concepts, right, which does help us understand things, right? Nietzsche sees that ultimately as leading to a type of imprisonment of our sort of cognitive and emotional abilities. Um, so, we're artistic creators, we're storytellers, we're interpreters. That's if there is a human nature, that is what our nature is. Okay. And then again, you want to, finish up here, by agree, disagree, or you somewhere in the middle with this and you want to make a more complex argument. So anyway, those are just some basic sort of lecture notes based on your assignment for tonight. Good luck.